Okay, I'm going to pick up on this next session talking about referring to a verse in the book of Galatians, and Paul writing to the book of or to the church at Galatia in chapter 2 says in verse 16, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law or the works of the Torah, but by the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach, or Messiah. Even we have believed in Yahushua Mashiach, or Messiah. Even we have believed in him that we might be justified by faith in Messiah and not by the works of the Torah. For by the works of the Torah shall no flesh be justified. No flesh shall be justified by the works of the Torah. That's why for a true believer, to put himself under the Torah or the law is not scriptural, because all it will bring is condemnation upon your life, because that's the purpose of the law, is to minister. It's a ministry of condemnation, meaning that what it does, it brings you to a point of frustration when you realize that you could keep all of the law and miss it at one point, and you become guilty of everything. So now, does this mean that a believer just goes about and can live any way he wants to live and live in sin? No, that's not what I'm saying. The wages of sin will bring death. Satan will bring upon you, when you give him place in your life by, say, deliberately walking in sin, you're opening yourself up to the attacks of the enemy, for he will take advantage of that. I really find it hard to believe also that if you're truly born again, that you really are looking away to see what you can get by with, or see how much sin you can get by with without consequences coming upon your life. That's never been happened to me. I've always, because once I was born again, I knew that I was new. I knew that I was a new creature in him, and I was not looking for a way to see what I could get by with. I was looking a way to stay out of sin. I've never been in, every time I've missed it, and I've missed it just like you have, I've done things that I shouldn't have done. I've say walked in disobedience or whatever. Most of the sin that people, at least, that I've been aware of, are things that I haven't done, that I felt guilty about, things that I should have done in my life. And, but the fact is that, and those are the things that we should be concerned about, but the fact is that the consequences of those things, Yahuwah is not holding those things against us, because he understands and he knows that we're in a fallen flesh. It doesn't give us an excuse to take advantage of his grace and favor by going about living in sin. If you're truly born again, you on the inside should have the desire to please your Father, and to not do things that are going to hurt people or others, but you have a desire to please him and to love others. That should be what dominates your life, his new nature that's on the inside. And, once you find out and understand that you are a new creature in Messiah, then it begins to empower you to walk in victory, because until we receive the redemption of our body, the weakness of our flesh, we're going to constantly have to deal with. We don't do enough. We don't pray enough. We don't, read our Bibles enough. We don't give to others like we should. And all that does is it brings an awareness of a weakness of our flesh. It brings condemnation and guilt. But Yahuwah wants you and I to understand that if we're truly born of the set-apart Spirit, he sees us in the realm of the Spirit already perfected before him. He sees us complete. Paul wrote in Colossians chapter 2, verse 10 says, we are complete in him. In who? In Messiah. See, in Messiah, Yahuwah sees us. That's the way he sees you and I. In Messiah, he sees us holy, without blemish, perfected before him. And so what we're waiting on is the redemption of our bodies, when this part of our nature. That, I mean, as far as the flesh, this corruptible will have put on incorruption. In other words, the corruptible body that we live in will be changed from mortal to immortality, and that this corruptible shall be changed to incorruption, and we shall be like him. Paul wrote about this, John wrote about this in the Gospel of, or the Epistles of John. He said, "When he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is." It says, "As he also wrote, as he is, so are we in this world." Well, as he is, so are we now in this world. He's talking about, of course, in the realm of the spirit, in the realm of in the ruach, we are like him. We're like him in the fact that we have the same nature, we have the same spirit, which is holy, perfected before our Father in him. And that's good news to know that. And once a believer truly knows that, then that empowers him to walk in victory over sin, because he realizes he's a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things have become new. And if I walk in this realm of the Spirit, I don't have to yield myself to the flesh. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Yahuwah loves you. I love you. Until next time, shalom.